Guys, welcome back. So we've just performed a really interesting little test while we're out here at Magna Golf Club, and we're just looking at the difference between when you practice with a premium ball and you practice with a range ball, understanding the differences and how they're going to perform, and maybe sometimes not judging yourself for what the ball does based on the result.
Right. The ability to spin the ball is mostly what we're looking at today.
That was exactly the little test we just ran. You know, it was a 16-yard pitch shot.
Right.
So very, very short little shot. We're just off the side of the green here.
Just to this flag over there,
Yeah, we thought we'd hit some little pitch shots, we'd get some nice angles, and we'd see just the difference between an NXT range ball, basically, and it was a TP5.
We're using the TP5, yeah.
So, interesting stuff. The range ball launched about 3.5 degrees higher.
Right.
And had about 1,200 RPMs less spin.
Which is a ton for a shot of that length.
It is.
Big
it really
disparity
is.
there.
Yeah, I mean, the range ball was only spinning at 3,000. The premium ball was spinning at 4,200.
Right.
So big difference. And I think sometimes when I've been guilty of this in the past, when I've been out in a range and hitting some chip shots and going, bad technique, or blaming yourself for something that's maybe a little more to do with the golf ball you're using.
And you're saying also, I mean, your club being clean is a factor. The wrong golf ball can be a factor.
Yeah.
But if you're out there chipping and all your balls are rolling through the back of the green,
exactly,
you're going to start hitting them softer.
Yeah.
Then you go pick up your TP5 out of the bag.
Yeah.
You go out on the course and leave your first 10 shots short, right?
That's it. So I think the kind of the moral of the story that we're kind of discussing here is, if you've got maybe some balls you wouldn't consider ones that you would use in the course anymore, and you've got a little selection you can put in a practice ball bag, and rather than getting out there and playing with the same ball you're going to hit out onto the range because someone else is collecting those, gather up some premium balls to practice your short game with.
Yeah.
When you get round the greens and you want to see that reaction that you're going to get on the course, so you can simulate to the best of your ability, the absolute best way to do that is to do it with the ball you use.
And you'll see that from the footage we got near the green.
Yeah.
The range ball landed in the same spot, but just no grab. And that TP5 really took that kind of little skid and stop that people are familiar with seeing out of a good spinny ball.
Big difference that, isn't it, between the ball kind of having just landing and rolling out, or landing and having a check,
and
then just dribbling out.
Yeah.
And you see that as a kind of a trend with all pitchers who pitch it really nicely. They don't pitch it in there, Matt, and it slams on the brakes and stops.
Right.
All the best pitchers I've ever seen hit it with some check, then it's got one last little rollout to it, because that's the best chance you've got a hole in the chip.
Right.
So if it's running towards the hole at the pace a putt would roll at, that's your best opportunity to hole it. And believe me, that's what the best players in the world are trying to do.
Yeah,
They're not just trying to get it within, I hear people saying within a kind of large area around the hole. That's fine, and that's what most people should try and focus on. But the best players are looking at the hole in it. They're looking at making it, especially if they've got a nice lie and there's nothing can in their way. So
absolutely.
Yeah, interesting stuff, and we're kind of going through some of these variables that come into hitting a really high quality pitch.
Yeah.
That a high quality ball is one of them.
Definitely one of them, yeah. I mean, the other thing is, once you get in the rough, we'd probably see even more of a difference, would you say? I mean, a range ball is, because it's lower spin to begin, we have this conversation with like strong lofted irons. Once you take away even more spin out of the rough, I guess that kind of gets exaggerated further. You tend to knuckle the ball more.
I would say probably the rough would act like a bit of a neutralizer.
Bring them closer together.
Bring them very close. They'd probably both react. You'd actually probably lose the benefit of the softball.
Interesting.
And actually they both perform quite similar, is what I would imagine would happen. But
that's good to know.
While we're out here, we're actually looking around here, and we're looking at being able to do some testing in the rough.
Different lies and stuff we have planned for the future.
For sure, so we can gauge obviously different how much distance a flyer will give you on a short shot, a longer shot, that type of thing. So stuff that you guys can use when you're out in the golf course to go, okay, the boys at TXG, showed me that when the ball sits down in the rough, half a ball above, all the ball, being covered, how much to sort of allow for with that. That'll
be very cool. I mean, something we can probably do with TrackMan to kind of track how the ball actually flies out, comes out with not enough spin or something like that, and really bury a ball down in the rough and the bunker and stuff.
That would be pretty neat to do that.
That'd be fun.
Trying to kind of take these real world scenarios, guys, and give you as much knowledge and information to make you be able to sort of survey your scenario the best you can and make the best judgment.
Absolutely, it's great.
Awesome. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon.